Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the After Duty Hours podcast. My name is Pim. I will not be your host today. Your host will be
Renee Flores Jr. and this is episode 18. Thank you, everyone, as he already introduced himself as Pim, aka the Flying Dutchman. I'll let you say your full name
because you can't pronounce it.
Yeah, because I can't pronounce it. And let's be honest, I'm gonna mess it up anyway. So what? I'll give it a shot after you.
All right. So my full name is Pirmin Sebastian or Sebastian F.U.B.A.R.
Pirmin Sebastian F.U.B.A.R.
There we go. Super easy.
Okay. I won't repeat that, but there I got it. I'll just give you I usually say the full names and then but I know you as Pim for the longest since 2021.
Yeah. So I think online people know me as Pim. So I'm a Dutchman, hence my
yeah. We'll get into where I guess where you got that name and how you got that name and whatnot. But the After Duty Hours podcast, what we're going to be... before we begin, I do want to say the disclaimer. I don't have my paper today because we're celebrating a 4-day weekend. So shout out to all the veterans out there. The disclaimer is, I should have this memorized by now, but just so I don't mess up and we don't have to redo the recording. This podcast has no affiliation with Ramstein Air Base, U.S. military branches, or the U.S. government. So without further ado, we'll kind of begin on getting to know who Pim is. So just kind of your background of where you grew up, where you were born, kind of your upbringings before you got to this point where you are now.
So like I said, I'm a Dutchman. I grew up in a tiny border town in the Netherlands on the border with Germany. Mm-hmm. Really 10,000 people, super small, nothing to do. If I wanted to go anywhere, the Dutch ride bikes, so I had to do a 2-hour bike ride to get to the nearest party center or cafe or bar. I'm 35 years old. I think I moved away when I was probably 18. Mm-hmm. So I lived there for the first 18 years, both sides of the border. So I lived in Germany for a couple of years, went to the same high school as I did before, just because, I was right there, right on the border. 2 sisters, parents are still together. Nothing really.
Yeah. When did you join? Because you joined the military, right? Not the U.S. military, but
yeah. So I joined the Dutch military in 2007. I started off. So initially, I joined the Dutch Army.
Mm-hmm. How old were you? What was it?
I was probably 18.
Okay, so right after you moved out, that's what you aimed to do.
Yeah, so I probably moved out around the time I joined. I got a place in a town called Arnhem, which is a little bigger. If you're in the airborne community, you'll know Arnhem because of the airborne operations market garden back in World War II. I joined the Army in 2007. I signed a contract to become an NCO in an airborne unit. And then halfway through training, stuff changed, and they're like, "Hey, we no longer take people directly from the civilian world as NCOs into the airborne unit. You're gonna have to go to conventional infantry." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Well, no, this is literally what I joined for. I wanted to be a paratrooper, so I'm not gonna do that. What are my other options?" I had to leave the service, sign up again, this time with the Marines.
Mm-hmm. Did you have to do the basic training that they have all over again?
Well, I was just not even. I hadn't finished basic training yet when he told me that. So I then left the service, reapplied with the Marines. I had to do the Marine training, and then in the Marines I became a paratrooper. So it was a whole weird thing going on where. Yeah. So that it's kind of stupid, but that's the way it went. I went to the Marines. The unit now it's now known as 11th Raiding Squadron, which is a paratroop unit. So I did my paratroop in there, jumped out of C-130s, and jumping out of C-130s, I got interested in the C-130 crews and their life and how the missions they flew.
How many jumps have you? Do you know a number in your head?
Yeah, I think I'm only up 50 jumps or something like that. It's just under 50 jumps.
How does that even work? I somewhat know what a PJ is, but not fully. Back in BMT, we learned about this senior airman that died as a PJ.
PJ is very specific. That's something that the U.S. has. It's a pararescueman.
Yeah.
So they also jump, but as an airborne unit or as a paratrooper, you go to jump school in the Netherlands. That would be in Breda.
What's like what is the goal? Like, what are y'all jumping
Okay,
for?
so the unit I was in, we specialized in airfield seizures and raids. So you would try and take over a hostile airfield to establish a spot for the Air Force to land.
So like y'all literally just jumping out of a plane, landing, and I don't know. That's just kind of wild. I mean, like the just a moment you kind of like jump out the plane, you're like, oh yeah, parachute time. You know, it's just like that's just crazy. Like, I mean, obviously you get trained to do with that stuff, especially if like the parachute goes bad, like what to do or something like that.
Yeah.
But man, that's just kind of wild because some of the viewers who have watched the podcast know that I bungee jumped before about like, I want to say like 150 feet. And that's nothing compared to the thousands of feet y'all probably jump at. But even that's kind of extreme to me. And like, I don't know. It'd be fun to at least like skydive at one point. But like what y'all are doing or what PJs do is like, it's pretty cool. Yeah. I see why y'all are respecting it. I see the training. So like the training was it really hardcore or? I
mean, what part? The jump school or? The jump school is only a couple of weeks, and jump school, I didn't attend jump school until I was fully certified as a Marine. So in the Netherlands, from what I understand, Marines is a little different than in the U.S. in the sense that we're a really small unit. There's only about 3,000 of us, and we really focus on small teams that do raids, coastal raids, airfield seizures, things of these nature. We had an exchange officer from the United States Marines, and he said the closest thing I can compare you to back in the States is the Ranger Battalion. So it's very supportive. SF, stuff like that is also part of the package, what you do.
Okay.
So you do that, and for me that was for 9 months. And then you go to specialization, so you become either a paratrooper or you have individual specializations and then group specializations.
Okay. Where did the name Flying Dutchman come from? But did it come from what you were doing, or did everybody kind of have that name, or is it what the group was called?
No, so for me, I didn't get that until I joined the Air Force.
Okay.
And I'm obviously the Flying Dutchman. For people that don't know, that's a pirate ship. It's a
I was gonna say
ghost,
like,
a ghostly pirate
over
ship.
There.
But the fact that I was flying and I was a Dutchman is 1 and 1 is 2. So
yeah, I know the Dutchman from SpongeBob. That's pretty much it.
That's about me. Yeah.
Okay. But I knew it was like a pirate ship because of SpongeBob, but I didn't know where you didn't give yourself that nickname, did you?
No. So when we're gonna have to fast forward a little bit to when I joined the Air Force.
Yeah. Well, if you wanted to, you can kind of like plug in kind of like the transition of. Yeah.
So I was jumping, and then I got familiar with the Air Force world. Initially, I actually wanted to go on rotary, so I wanted to go to Chinooks. I went into testing. It's a long process to get. So to be clear, I became a loadmaster. That whole process takes forever, and then things happen in between where, for instance, my psychologist, you have to do a psych eval. He was sick, so that got delayed, and all these things happened, and it took about 1.5 years worth of testing. Also for this, I got out first, so I came back to the civilian world. I did all my testing, and then at the end of that, they said, hey, listen, we have X amount of spots for Chinook, and we just filled them all. We only have 2 spots for C-130, and they had something like 400 applicants for that.
Wow.
So they're like, yeah, do you still want to try and get into that? I'm like, yeah, it's better than nothing.
So out of that 400.
Yeah, so like a lot of people trying to get those 2 spots, and those spots hadn't been open for I think 5 or 6 years because we have such a small community. Think back in the Netherlands at the time, you have like 20 loadmasters, and because it's such a specialized function. Yeah, probably I think it's the same here. You don't rotate out to do a different job every couple of years. You stay within your profession.
Everyone, welcome to the podcast, Sabrina Flores. She has invaded our our space, but we're just gonna let her chill a little bit. But oh no, not on camera.
Is this OnlyFans for cats?
No, no, but continue. Sorry about that.
No worries.
You were saying about like how it was a special community, like
like
it's
20. Small, and like we had guys that had been, occupying what we call a seat, so a position for a decade or two. So like it
doesn't rotate. That's what you're saying.
Unless you're getting out or you want to do another job, that's the community. That's those 20 guys. Yeah. So we hadn't had any openings for a long time, and then those two popped up. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it took a lot of testing, a lot of stuff going on, and then finally they were like, "Hey, yeah, man, you got in." So
dang, out of 400,
yeah. So
you secured one of the 2 seats.
Yeah, and then my other buddy, Luke, and we did basically everything to get it from that point on.
He didn't get it.
Well, yeah. So he became my friend after that because I didn't know him.
Oh, okay.
So he was the other guy in the spot.
And wow, that's pretty cool.
We did the whole process together from day one until we got fully certified. So
that's pretty. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah. And like, man, that one story that would have been like, that would have been sad on my part. Like if I made a friend and we were doing this together, and one day it's like friends applying for college, and then one of them gets accepted and the other one doesn't. Yeah, you got nothing else to say but like, I'm sorry, man. Like I'm still going though.
See you later, yeah.
A quick shout out to these waters. I feel like a lot of people don't like mineral water over here. So Pim is one of the ones that enjoys to drink mineral water with me. So it's a good time.
Don't drink tap water, people.
Yeah, you're missing out, low key. I think if you want to start drinking mineral water, you got to do it while eating something. Just because like a lot of people like to drink like Coke, Sprite, and like something carbonated while they're eating. And I feel like you'll still get the same effect here as when you're eating. That's how I started off with,
how much they're paying you to say this?
What? No. No one's paying me to say this for sure. But I don't know. I mean, it's when I started drinking just water. So I started drinking water, and I haven't really drank anything other than water since last year, October 23rd. Good. And then after drinking just still water for a while, I was kind of missing that carbonation. And so like I started like giving mineral water like a chance. And so I started doing it while I was eating, and I was like, hey, this is not that bad. So it hurts a little bit, but
I didn't think we'd get into this part, but so I'm a certified sports nutritionist as well.
Okay.
I would tell everyone, just drink mineral water.
Yeah. I mean, you told me that it has
we are so deficient as a Western civilization in all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. Specifically minerals like magnesium. So yeah, drink it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you heard it here first from Pim. Drink mineral water. I would definitely suggest this brand though. So I wouldn't drink medium mineral water. Yes, there's a difference. I don't know. That's all I could pretty much say about that. But medium is not good. And I love McDonald's, but that's all they sell is medium sparkling water. I do not get it anymore. It's not for me. It tastes like, if you could believe, watered down mineral water, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, people who drink mineral water would probably understand what I'm saying right there. But let's get into the next part of you transitioning to the Air Force. And that was it, right? When you filled out that application. So how old were you then?
Oh, shoot. Probably like 25.
25, and you served up to like 8 to 9 years in that?
No, so I got out of the Marines in probably the end of 2011 or the end of 2012, one of those, and then had a year or 2 years where I did all that testing, and so
you were like 27 by the time you got.
No. Yeah, maybe 26.
Okay.
So I was kind of a little older already than most guys. So the funny thing is, the Air Force still made me do basic.
Oh, okay. Well, no, we had a guy in my flight that was like 43 or something. He was like in his 40s.
Well, not just because the age. I'm like, man, I've already been an infantry Marine. Like, I think I know what I'm doing. But
yeah. No, that's why I was wondering if you had to do basic again. And I don't know how your basic went, but like, I don't know, like doing basic again. Like, Marcy, you wouldn't do basic again.
I would do it again for sure.
You would?
Basic was so fun.
Well, yeah. So
I don't know.
my Air Force basic definitely was fun. Like Marine basic wasn't fun, but the Air Force was like, all right, it's not too
I mean,
bad.
it has some fun parts, and then it doesn't have its fun
I wanted
parts.
to ask about that because it was the Marines for the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
So, do you guys have an equivalent like Hell Week that our side does?
Yeah. So we at the end of that, the culmination, you do. We call this the final exercise, and then I want to say that's 10 days or something. Period.
How long is your basic training?
So yeah, so for the Marines it's extended. So back from World War II out, we're like more of a commando force. So it's like 9 months. That's your basic, and then you go specialize.
9 months, and then it's like hardcore to where it's like there's no phones, no communication
so
with the
back in the day when I
Then you would do it again?
not now. I'm old.
Okay.
I'm 35. But I don't know if the stats have changed because I know they've changed how basic works now, and I think they improved it. But back in the day, we got told from the first day of selection until the end of the training course, between 6 and 11% of people go make it.
Yeah.
So like we started out with a group of people that went through a whole selection phase already, and a lot of people dropped out, and then still 2/3 of that group dropped out.
Yeah.
So we ended up after 9 months with a relatively small group. And then you go specialize. So then you do all your whatever.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, even for me, Marcy, like, I went through COVID BMT. That was not fun, bro.
Yeah, I went through regular people BMT like a normal person.
We only had one night at, dude, I don't even remember it because we were only there for one night. Is when you go shoot your guns and Beast Week. Bro, we showed up at 4 a.m. We did some stuff. We ate at the DFAC, which was amazing. They had like great food over there. I was like, man, this is way better than the DFAC over there at the Chow Hall or whatever.
So because you guys do your basic at Lackland.
Yeah.
And then where was this?
Well, so Beast Week is like somewheres in the woods near Lackland.
It's not Cadena, it's something that starts with a K, but it's like a little section off.
Yeah. It's you get on a bus and you just ride there.
All right.
But we did some things, and then we went to bed, and then we woke up. We watched some more videos in like an auditorium, and we did the course, and then we went home. Like it was like crazy. And funny story,
You had to wear masks all the time.
Oh yeah, see, we had to wear masks too. I mean, it was all right. There was a couple fun times. I know that. You know, when we had I think the most dreadful thing was whenever you got woken up at like 1 a.m. or something, and they're like, hey, you're on CQ. And so, like, you'd have to go get up, get your rifle, and then stand at the door for 2 hours in the middle of the night. And then, like, by the time you go to bed or, like, get to bed, you get waken up by the reveille. At like 6 a.m. and you have to hurry up, put on your clothes and stuff like that. I mean, honestly, 9 to 6 is a good amount of time of sleep, honestly. But they had you
9 to 6.
You're supposed to wear your socks on and have this ID thing around your neck the whole time. And after a while, it just got super annoying to wear all that stuff because there were some nights where I'm not saying I sleep with socks on all the time, but
you do.
But sometimes I do. It depends, you know, what the weather is in the room.
Because you're from Texas, right? So this is cold here.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's very hard to explain. But there was one instance. I want to share a story from Beast Week. So before then, I was actually a leader. I got chose to be an element leader for the Beast Week. So you had your regular BMT element leaders and dorm leaders. But then for Beast Week, they gave 5 other airmen an opportunity to be in those leadership positions. And I was one of the element leaders that they chose. So we had a couple of responsibilities before we went to Beast Week. And that was make sure that everything that was on a list, that everybody had it in their backpack ready to go. So it was just a list of things. And most of the most important things were just like certain uniforms, like OCPs, your PT uniform, because you're going to have to be wearing your PT uniform for bed or whatever. That's what they wanted it for, or something like that. So there's like 4 rows, and like we were in charge of the element leaders were in charge of doing that whole row of beds, walking to them and say like, hey, I'm going to check your backpack before you pack everything up. So we did all that everybody got checked, right? Everybody. So we should have been good. And I remember when we went, you know, at some point of the time at the Beast Week, we had to take a shower before nighttime or whatever. So before we were getting ready to go to the showers, one of the airmen in our little tent, he was like, I don't have my PT uniform. And so like everyone's like, oh my gosh, like what happened here? I thought we checked everybody. I mean, it's his fault, it's our fault. You could say it a bunch of different ways. It's like, oh, he forgot his stuff, but you're his wingman, so it's your fault too. You know, it was playing that card. And all I can remember was like, bro, I would hate to be in his position because he's about to get chewed out.
Yeah, but doesn't the whole group get chewed out?
I mean,
y'all get.
I mean, true. But I don't know what in me. I was like, it's my responsibility too. So I literally pulled him aside. I was like, look, man, take my PT clothes. I'll let them know that I forgot my PT clothes. And that's how it came out to be.
Hey man, if he messes up, you gotta
I know.
Sure.
I learned that lesson whenever the guy found out what happened. But one of the beast like MTIs or whatever. Yeah. See, I remember I approached him with my wingman, which was the guy who forgot it, and I told him like, you know, sir, training floors reports is ordered. I don't have my PT uniform. I must have forgot it or whatever. And you know what's crazy? Earlier that day, there was an exercise that we did. It was like the one where you have 4 people do the exercise. One person does the rifle scanning and the other one like says halt, you know, like, and then they spit
like
out the call sign.
Like a checkpoint or?
Yeah. ECP, like an ECP like practice.
Yeah.
And I remember I memorized that I memorized all the scenarios. I knew it like in my head because throughout the week building up, I knew it was my responsibility to know it. Because that's what they were testing you on too. And then also to clear your rifle, that as well. So I remember he asked somebody from the crowd, does anybody want to be my partner? And then, you know, people in my flight were like, Flores, you should do it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready for this. Like, I'm not going to mess up. And I didn't. So I raised my hand and he's like, all right, come over here. And then like, he was explaining some things and then he was like, you got it. And you know all of it. You're not gonna mess up. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna mess. No, sir, I'm not gonna mess up or whatever like that. And then under his breath, as we turned to get down on our knees, he's like, yeah, we'll see about that. And then I got it perfect all throughout, like everything. I was doing things before he started explaining it. So at one point, when you're leaving the ECP, when people fill in your position, when we have to report, you have to you turn in together, point your guns down, and then one person shows their gun to check if it's on safety. So I was doing all that, and then I showed him my gun first whenever he was about to, you know, say like, show me your gun, like before he even said it, like I was doing that, and he was like, yeah, dude, so you see how your airman is showing me his gun or whatever. So like I was just doing things without him like explaining. Like I just knew it so well, and I think that's important to say right there because that's the guy we were talking to about my PT clothes. So he was yelling at me saying like I was pretty much worthless. And then I remember when we walked away, he saw like the element leader patch on my OCP and he says, oh, and you're an element leader? And then he recognized who I was. He was like, Flores, you're the guy who was with me earlier today showing all that stuff. I thought highly of you, but now I just see like you're just like every other like dirt airman or like something dirt trainee or like. And I'm like getting chewed out, and I'm like, bro. He's like, how about this? You're gonna do the first shift of watching the tent and just being your OCPs the whole night. And I was, you know, I just said yes, sir. And then like when I came back, everybody in the tent hated the guy who forgot his PT uniform. He's like, man, I can't believe you let Flores get chewed out like that.
What was the lesson you learned?
So he actually said, I actually confronted him. I didn't want to get praised for it or anything, but he really made me feel like crap. And I wanted him to understand. And like whenever he brought me up and said like, I thought like you did good earlier, but it turns out like you suck. Basically, I talked to him and I said, I said, I just wanted to let you, this was before we were leaving. We were waiting for the buses. We were just eating and like at this big area. And I confronted him. I saw him. I said, hey, sir, I just wanted to let you know that, you know, I didn't forget my stuff. I was covering for an airman. I just didn't, he was scared. And, you know, I took the bullet for him pretty much. And he told me I should have said that in the first place and he wouldn't have gotten so mad at me. And then he began to explain, like, it's very important that I don't take the fall for some people, because an instance to where, like, once you're in the military, let's say you're going TDY and you're asked to bring these certain things, everyone is liable to bring those certain things. And if someone forgets it, you know, it's a big penalized on their part, and you don't want to take that penalized thing, because it's not like a 341 at this point. It's probably like you're getting fined or but
you also took that person's moment to learn something away.
Yeah,
he could have learned, like, this is going to be something that's going to stick with him. But taking responsibility for your own actions is also very important.
Yeah.
So good, you learned the lesson.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt so bad because they were like super mad at this guy. But I hope he's doing well. I don't know where he's at now. We do have like a Discord with all of our like flight members, Flight 755. But it's not very active. We'll message in there every once in a while, see like where everyone's at. But
yeah.
I just wanted to share that story because I mean it was such a good story. Like Beast Week and BMT, like I didn't experience BMT like I thought it was. I was watching like YouTube before, and I was like, "Oh snap! I'm gonna be ready." I was not ready, honestly. For real.
Why not? Well, what was it, physical or mental or?
I don't know. I just felt like
for a lot of people, it's a full reset.
Yeah.
We come from like civilian mindset, freedoms, and like less responsibilities and less accountability. So when you get put in a situation where you were forced to think about your actions affect the people that are next to you and the flight as a whole, it's like a whole different reset of mentality.
Like it's not selfish anymore. Like you're working as a team, and they're implanting that in your head that like if he fails, you fail.
Yeah.
And like you gotta like build this teamwork mentality of like, I think I didn't know what to expect. I wouldn't say I wasn't ready, and I was ready at the same time. I just knew that whatever they were gonna throw against me, I just had to really pay attention. And that's what I told myself before I go in there. I was like, they're gonna be spitting so much stuff. If they tell me to do, if they say to do something, I just got to remember what they asked to do because I don't want them to repeat it.
Well, also they're testing your mental resilience. Like if you can do 200 push-ups, they're gonna ask you to do 202. So let's just keep that in your mind. They're gonna set you up for that. And as long as you remember it's a game and it's stick to it. Yeah.
That's why I loved it because I didn't have to think anymore.
I was gonna say it was like, there's only one goal. That's all you have to think about. It felt so chill.
Yeah. I think the most nerve-wracking thing is probably just like the first week or the first night because whenever they had to do the chow runners, shout out to the person who did it in my flight first because like that was horrible. But I ended up becoming the chow runner later on, but that was because after hearing it a bunch, I knew what to do.
That's the scary thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to the later ends of basic, when they start giving you freedom,
that's
when it's scary because it's like, fuck, I have to think now.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
they do give you more freedom, but like that's like, I don't know, it's crazy.
That whole thinking for yourself part. So that was actually a huge part of, at least in the Marines, because I said it's 9 months. We very quickly got into small unit stuff, and if you're only with 4 people and we were made to plan our own missions, so everyone has a job in that mission. Everyone's doing active planning. Everyone has to do active thinking.
Yeah.
Everyone has to do, there's leadership built in that course too a lot, so you do a lot of PowerPoints and you do a lot of stuff like that. So you're always on. You're always trying to think of solutions for your group and solutions to get your mission done. And so it's you're selected as assertive people who want to step forward and start planning stuff and start making sure that the whole group finishes the mission.
Yeah.
So
how many years did you serve total?
So like I said, I got in 2007 and I got out in
2020
21, I want to say.
Yeah.
So and then with that period in between where I got out. So yeah, a good amount of time, but unfortunately, we guys don't have that great deal that the U.S. has, where you guys retire after 20 years. Because I would have been a good away, or along the way.
Yeah, and you would have been 13, about 6 years to
Yeah,
go.
so we don't have that. My retirement age would have been 63. So I had so much more time.
So you have to do the full
Yeah.
all the way up to 63 to get that?
So whatever civilian retirement age is, minus 5 years. So civilian retirement was like 67 or 68, and then you deduct a couple of years. So I think for me at the time was 63.
Wow. Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That's probably why there's no spots.
Yeah. Well, so when I got in, we had a guy who had been in this spot, in his spot, obviously climbed in rank for 26 years already. So, and he was, I want to say 26 when he joined that community. He had been doing something else before, but so yeah.
Pretty much 30 plus years for him.
Oh
right?
yeah, easy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, no, I remember why we got into the whole BMT and stuff like that. You said how old were you when you were redoing the BMT again? What was there a lot of young dudes in there that were with you?
Yeah, well, like
Majority?
Most of them were like 18-year-olds.
Did you have the drive to kind of nurture them and kind of guide them through too, especially because they were coming in with little to no experience and didn't have much life experience, not a lot of lessons learned?
That's twofold. I think I have it in me as either way, because I think with the Marines, we finished with 53 guys or whatever.
Yeah.
So out of the 53, 2 or 3 got a certification saying, hey, you can go to NCO school early because you've shown leadership skills. I was one of those. So I already knew I have some sort of natural thing there going. So I had that, but also when I went to the Air Force, the cadre knew that I'd been in the Marines before, and one of the instructors was a former Marine too. So they immediately pulled me aside. And a lot of the exercises are you're not going to be participating in this. You're going to be part of the planning process, and you're going to be sort of helping us out on this end. Yeah. So I did that, and then it helped out with land nav, stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's you were not really doing BMT all over again.
Well, I
you
think
had access to the extra stuff.
I think they recognize it's not pointless, because they're the Air Force does stuff a little different, and so I think it was good to.
They were just utilizing you, and they saw you
they
already
saw better
have some
opportunity.
training, and they're well, we can teach them something new,
Yeah, so they saw better opportunities to utilize me. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I would say that was a good experience.
that was good. I did that with the Air Force, and then I went straight into Air Force NCO school, which was at the same base. So floated
Did you
into that.
work here at Ramstein, or how did it work?
No, so I was based in the Netherlands. So I was in. Once I got to my C-130 unit, I was in Eindhoven Air Base.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how far was that from here, driving
Oh,
distance?
it's about 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty close. It's in the south of the country.
Okay. So near the border.
Yeah, it's close to the border with both Germany and Belgium.
I think the only reason it's 4 hours is because of all the valleys you have to drive
Yeah,
through.
I think it's about 300 miles or so. Maybe.
Or either, because there's 2 routes. You either go through France or you go up,
Yeah, I forgot.
So
when
actually,
we went to the Netherlands, I don't know the route we did. We just went to Spangdahlem to fill up before we went.
Yeah, so you straddled the border up north and then took a left.
Okay.
That's the route I would normally come down here, because my wife is stationed here. So my wife is American. She's stationed here. Except during COVID, because during COVID time I went through Belgium, because I know the Germans were smashing people for crossing the border. And my wife at the time was pregnant. I'm like, well, I got to go see my pregnant wife. So, and I went through Belgium because they weren't as hard on people trying to travel.
Yeah. Well, that must have been rough. I know that you did some OAR stuff too, right?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, during.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I knew. Yeah. So in 2021, actually, it was my last mission.
Yeah. I remember you made a YouTube video about it.
I actually got asked by some people that had done. So I already also have a company, and they had done a commercial for my company, and then they approached me and they asked like, "Hey, can we interview you?" Like, sure you can, as long as I can also publish the video. So that turned out into the video that I
But that's what you were talking about, right? You were speaking Dutch.
Yeah,
I was like, Rebecca, I don't know what he's saying.
We have subtitles though, but I know
Yeah.
Americans aren't used to having to read subtitles.
Oh, well, I mean, I would say true, but not true. A lot of people watch anime. So. Yeah, so they watch subs. So those will be speaking Japanese, but they'll be reading.
Right.
So they don't really watch anime. They read anime, but it's just some pictures in the background moving.
So that's every movie in the Netherlands.
You like that?
we only have subtitles. Every American movie comes in. And
Yeah.
the Germans, they voice over movies, and the Dutch, they read subtitles.
You know what's my favorite German actor so far? It's the guy whenever you go to Broadway Kino, and it's the guy drinking the beer from Burgers.
I don't think
Burgers.
Big Emma's.
Big Emma's. Yeah. He'll sip his beer and he'll go, You know what I'm talking about?
I've actually never been at Broadway, so I don't know.
No, well, your commercial was in there too.
Our commercial was there, but
Yeah.
I've never been to the Kino.
Yeah, I do want to talk more about your coffee company too. So I think, I know we've been kind of jumping around with like your military kind of like experience and like life. Is there anything you want to kind of close that I may have missed that you want to share, or like just your final moments? You know, I mean, Veterans Day was not too long ago, so I never got to thank you for your service.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah. Well, I tried to get people to thank me for my service in my family chat, but they're like, "But you're still you're still serving, so you're not a veteran."
Also,
yet.
I don't think you're supposed to ask for it.
Yeah, true. But I mean, like, I just tease them with it like that.
No, I
hey,
mean,
can you actually get my hat?
I
I don't know,
actually,
you're gonna be on camera though.
I
I'm
wasn't
watching
really,
that scoot on by.
I wasn't planning on getting out. Like, that wasn't part of my
Yeah.
grand scheme. But so I was flying out of Eindhoven. My wife's flying out of here, which is okay. Like, we're 4 hours apart, and we see each other on the weekends if we can. But then I had started a company in 2020, and then in 2021, in February, we got a baby. So now I'm trying to organize all this stuff and run all these things at the same time.
That's kind of that was the transition.
Well, so then I did Kabul and the evacuation of Kabul, and there were so many kids on the plane that I started realizing, like, hey, man, we're going to have to change some stuff up. I talked to my wife. She's like, hey, at the time, she had like 5 more years to retirement. I had like
Years,
30s. 5 decades left to retirement. So she's like, why don't you get out, focus on the company, come live with us, with the family.
Hey.
And that's what I did. So I at the time of Kabul, which was in August, I hadn't even made the decision to get out. And in November, I was out. I was gone. So it was kind of a quick process there. So
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I remember you were telling me, after all that stuff has happened, now getting into the company, I remember you told me like, oh yeah, I bought the company for like $1.
yeah, so I started the company with my best friend. So we went to school together. Then we both joined the Marines together. Then he went to Maritime Special Forces, and I went to the Air Force. Then in early 2020, we had a guy that we both knew from the Marines who got sick, and we wanted to raise money for him. And we didn't plan on, making a giant company or, more than a one-time deal to raise money. And then things grew and things got better to the point where I was like, okay, let's get out the Air Force and see if we can make this our primary thing. And in the meantime, because this soft guy, he loves guns. That's all he wants. Yeah. And he got a really great opportunity to be one of the importers for the Dutch DOD. So really, like, the job of a lifetime for him. So you're like, damn, dude, I don't know if I can pass this up because I'm never going to get this chance again.
Yeah. Well, look.
There we go.
I'm going to wear this just for the occasion.
Oh,
snap.
sure.
Yo. Yeah, my head is not that small, man. All right.
There we go. Looking sharp.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
So he's like, but I feel so guilty because we started this thing together and now I feel like I'm bailing on you. I'm like, no, man, it's all good. I'll run it.
I need your shares, though.
Well, that's the thing. Legally, he had 50% of the shares. So how can he? And he was like, "But I'll give you I'll give you my shares. I'll sell you my shares because legally you have to sell them. You can't just because the tax man wants something."
Yeah.
And he said, "But I'll sell you my shares for €1, so like $1."
So the tax man took tax of that €1.
I'm sure they did. I didn't.
Oh my!
I didn't notice because it was so little, but yeah. So that's what he did, and then I think that was in the summer of 21.
Yeah. Okay.
So and here we are.
Yeah, the CEO of FUBAR.
Yes,
so
sir.
how is it? Because I mean, we've talked about this on a previous episode, episode 3, about owning a company, especially over here, overseas.
Yeah.
There might be some inspiring young airmen that, you know, they watch a lot of Shark Tank. I know I do.
Yeah.
So like everyone, I think a dream that everyone would have an appeal to is being their own boss. So it's like, how do you? Yeah,
I could
how do you
never
do
go
that?
back to working for someone.
Yeah. So like, what are some of the beginning struggles of building a company?
So
or
this is
making
what
a
I would
company?
say first. Do some homework, of course. Read up to whatever you want to do. Make sure you know what you're doing. But also, you just got to freaking do it, man. You just got to start, and then you're going to start running into problems, and you have to solve the problems as you go.
What are some of the problems that you ran into?
So the biggest problem, you know, with a company like this is just exposure. Like, how do I get people to even know about my brand, man?
Yeah.
And now, luckily, nowadays we have social media, so you can basically build a presence, and you can get your name out for free. But it's still a struggle. People aren't just going to randomly start following.
Yeah, it's like the algorithm for social media is just it's weird. You could get lucky. It's like hitting the lottery.
So that's one of the struggles we had is because so the Flying Dutchman, that name came from back in the Air Force. I did public relations for my squadron, and I started an Instagram channel called Flying Dutchman C-130. So I knew some of the social media stuff, but still, even though I had that thing and it grew and it's doing pretty well, I'm like, I know nothing of social media really.
Yeah.
So we started posting cool photos and videos, and like this, you know, we had guns and all.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Real hoorah style, you know.
And that's fine on Instagram, but what I didn't realize is Instagram is owned by Facebook, and Facebook doesn't like that stuff. And we had simultaneously was posting on Facebook, and we immediately got a ban. So they took us down, and that is we're linked to like stores, and it was a shit show.
Yeah.
So that's a major thing that we ran into, because now we have there's so many consequences that trickle down because of that. You know, you're trying to manage everything with just the two of you. It's not like we had, you know,
a whole team
of people that know what
it
you're
would be
doing.
smart to get like a marketing team, people who are like
but you know, just looking at how much that costs is like, no, we know what we're doing, and
you have to grind and do it yourself first, and then when you get the funds to do that.
It's crazy that you mentioned that with like the social media, as far as like the things they don't want to show.
Yeah.
Because there are things like Vet TV that exist, and like it's pure like comedic military humor.
I think I've seen that before. There was one where the Navy people were working at the hospital. I think I've seen the first episode, bro.
It's absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
Since you mentioned that, I didn't notice they don't show any of like guns. They don't show any of the military aspect, and I never noticed it until you just said that.
Yeah, so you can do that on Instagram, I think, but not on Facebook. And if you're linked to two, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
Dang.
So that's something you run into, and in hindsight, I sort of knew that, because we had like a guy who was into rock climbing, and he had like those pickaxes, whatever, that he climbs with. He couldn't even put those online because they're considered a weapon. So he had to put like a sock on it.
They don't even have it on iPhone emojis anymore. They have the water gun.
Oh yeah.
Like they used to have a gun one emoji, but they changed it. I mean, with everything happening, you know, I mean, we live in a world that's just, I mean, this stuff is just gonna happen. Whether I mean, like there are people out there that are not out to do good, and it gets mixed in with the good. So like everyone kind of like goes through it pretty much.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's something that you can't help.
That was big, and I've tried to steer away from like political stuff, because like
yeah. I think that's really smart. I mean, I think some businesses do that. They they steer away or they either participate in the majority where most people would appreciate what side they're on.
Yeah.
Just so they can get more sales and stuff like that.
Also, you gotta remember, like, we're a Dutch company, so the climate for content, for political stuff, it's all different here than in the States too.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Most people wouldn't get it. Pretty much.
It's pretty hard to get stuff like this, like a veteran-owned company going in Europe, because Europe is just not military central. Like people don't care about it at all.
Yeah.
So we are actually PCSing to Texas in February.
Mm-hmm. Where at?
Initially, we're gonna go to San Antonio and then Del Rio.
Where, like Lackland, San Antonio?
Randolph.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Randolph for about 4 months, I think.
Yeah, I want to go there.
Yeah, so we're gonna be there for a bit. But I'm actually debating now if I'm gonna keep my company here, or if I'm gonna start LLC back in the States. And
I don't know. I feel like you can. I don't know. I feel like
love guns on coffee.
Yeah. There's a lot. I think that you'll get a lot of military love over there as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand because you're already like you actually achieved getting into some already established stores such as like the Shopette and the BX.
Yeah. So all over Europe, we're now in the BXs and the Shopettes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The UK, Italy, Germany.
And that's a big achievement for you as well. It just kind of like
you got to be lucky sometimes too, because we were at the Ramstein Bazaar last year, and I guess a lot of people like emailed or called AFES about that, and they actually came to us. So
nice.
that was really good, and we're now trying to talk to the commissaries, but man, that's a process too, and especially if you're the one approaching them instead of them coming to you. So it's something that's in the works.
That's pretty cool, AFES. Yeah. That must have been a fun phone call. Like he's like, oh, who's this?
Well, actually, it was like freaking stressful because they contacted us and we're like, man, this is the break we've been waiting for. You know, we're finally gonna go big. And then, like for 5 months, the guy didn't respond. Like, what the hell? Like, dude, you just he had already sent me all this. He's like, man, we're gonna do this and this, and all of a sudden, like, radio silence. So that, after 5 months, turned out like these guys are super understaffed and they had like their whole inventory to do, and like all these things popped up for him that he couldn't come back to me, and he really just took us on because he liked the brand, So after 5 months, he's like, all right, let's get this done, and like within a week, he had to place the first order. So okay, finally things are starting to go. And
you should have had a spot where they were gonna put that new Starbucks, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Where's that gonna be?
Well, it's gonna be where the Halloween store was.
No way.
Yeah, I think that's what they're putting a Starbucks there, right?
Got rid of that store.
Well, that Halloween was only temporary.
Okay, but they got rid of that spot, that store for a Starbucks next to the other Starbucks.
Well, they're gonna break down that Starbucks, I think, or
what's
like
gonna happen to it? What's it?
That was a rumor. I don't know.
Oh, okay, it was a rumor. Sorry, I don't want to spread false.
Supposedly it was true, but there's no time frame at all.
You gotta admit, a Starbucks inside of a little section is more vibey than the other Starbucks. Like a Starbucks that's you sit down, they probably throw some. That place is big, bro. So you could probably throw some couches in there. You know what I'm saying, like vibe out. But I mean,
so actually, I was talking to AFES to start like a FUBAR thing, and it never got off the ground here because there's so limited space. Yeah. So I'm really hoping in the States that on one of these bases, either at in San Antonio or in Del Rio, we can get something like that, because that's what I'm thinking, like some lounge couches and some chill and As Kevin would say from Shark Tank, it's like, man, coffee is a don't laugh at me. Coffee is super competitive. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, you got like the big dogs out there. I mean, Starbucks, I just mentioned one. I mean, they probably have some ones, but like when people think like going to get coffee, it's Starbucks. But at the same time, like they overprice their stuff.
Holy moly! I don't really get Starbucks often, but when I look at the price, I'm like, shit.
Yeah. And sometimes I think of that. I've never seen the movie, I don't think, but they are talking about like
But there's always a line, so apparently people want to pay.
Yeah, it's good. The venti or like the grande or whatever, like how everything's just kind of like out of order, and he's like, "Oh, I'll have a large coffee." He's like, "Oh, you mean a venti?" He's like, "A venti?" He's like, "No, a large."
The only one on this list that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I've never seen that. And the actor is Ant-Man, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna find it.
Yeah. But yeah, that scene was funny. But for the airmen who want to like I guess it's crazy because the person Dre, he has a clothing brand, so his isn't food. He's not selling like drinks or food. He's selling like physical items, you know, that like clothes and stuff like that, apparel. And with your company, it's, you know, you have to make it, you know, coffee or stuff like that.
Oh, we have both.
You have some that are already made in the
So we're
cans.
trying to get the iced coffee cans into AFES, which is for some reason it's not kicking off yet. Even though like I know at Ramstein people are dying for it because we introduced those and we had a little stand going and like I couldn't frickin' keep up with that. So for some reason,
and he sells 75 cases. You said.
At the bazaar.
Yeah, this past one.
Yeah, so they
That's
went
a lot. So like 75 times 12 cans.
It went really quick. So I don't know who at AFES needs to, high five or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, I think when it comes to like just giving some sort of advice to some of the airmen that are like,
the advice is just freaking do it, man. Just like there's never a good time. Yeah, you need some base prep. You need to know a little bit of what you're doing. You need a little bit of accounting and all that stuff.
I mean, utilize YouTube or something like that.
It's so easy. You can everything you want, you can find. So and it's, find whatever, Google your state or wherever you want to start it and what the laws are, and just do it. And along
Would
the
you
way,
say like, okay, so like the airmen that are trying to start a business over like American airmen?
Yeah.
I thought of the I'm an American airman when I said that. Anyway, whenever they're starting a business over here, do they have to go through some sort of like German like laws?
So usually you guys are only here for 3 years, right? So take that in consideration. Like, okay, I'm going to start something here. Is it worth this whole hassle for 3 years?
Okay.
Or are you going to start something stateside? And because you can still have a company stateside and do business here, and there's some laws. So for instance, in the Netherlands at least, you cannot start a company in the Netherlands and work for instance in Germany if you don't have some physical presence in the Netherlands. So we have our main address for the companies in the Netherlands. So there are some little laws that you need to take in consideration, but it
just started over.
I would say it's exponentially more difficult to do it in Germany if you're an American, but it's not impossible. So just read up and get going.
Yeah, I mean, you have some of I think Schwang's was one of the.
Oh, was it?
I think so. I remember when I was picking up wings for like a podcast.
Yeah, but that's also very physical. Like these guys are staying here not for just a 3-year tour.
But I think he gave it away. I think he sold the business.
Oh,
but it was originally, an American who started that.
No, but that's great. If you do it for 3 years and you sell it.
Babe's Boba? Yeah. So like there were American.
But if you do it like that, if you build something up for 3 years to legit business that people are coming to, and after 3 years you're like, I'm gonna sell it, that's freaking profit too. You're good. Like
you move on to the next one. You're an inventor. You're an
now you have a base because you sell that with a profit, and that you can put that into your next business.
Yeah. That's exactly how the Shark Tank they kind of do it. Like when there's certain episodes where he's like, where some of the sharks will be like, I'll buy your business.
Yeah.
And like they'll give him like $2 million for 100%. But some of the people who are, no, some of the people are like, excuse me, some of the people are like, I think my business is way more than 2 million. Can you give me like 6 million? They'll get a little greedy or whatever.
Yeah.
And the sharks saying like, they keep telling him like, I understand, like you're an inventor, you're an entrepreneur, you're a smart guy, like. You could take this 2 million and put it towards a new idea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it ends up well, sometimes it doesn't. Like they'll either like not keep it, or sometimes the deal would be amazing. I know Mark Cuban has been like, I'll buy your business for $1 million. I'll put you on a 5-year contract for $100K plus just to get your like where you're gonna go on, and I'll give you like a 5% royalty. Lifetime. I was like, bro, you'd be set for life. I mean,
also remember that most first businesses fail, and any successful businessman will tell you, I failed like 2 or 3 companies or whatever, and that's fine because you learn so much.
Yeah.
So failure is never a bad thing.
You got to be connected with the real world problems as well.
Yeah.
Trying to solve problems that the world deals with that you can make easier. And I think that's the toughest thing, because more people just keep figuring out great ideas. I mean, you'll see in a great idea and you'll be like, why didn't I think of that? There's like this, it's very little. Like, you could 3D print this if you wanted to. Obviously, you can't now because it's copyrighted. And like, I mean, I guess you could. Yeah, you just couldn't sell it or whatever. Yeah, patent. So like, it's like this little thing that you could put on your shoulder, and like it has like little hooks, and you can put your grocery bags. That way, like, your shoulder is carrying the grocery bag.
Here's the thing: people always think they have to, like, think of the new whatever, like world changing. You know, there's a lot of business in just random, reselling of diapers or whatever. Like, you don't have
reselling diapers.
I'm just like a
no,
random
yeah.
example, but like, you can be a distributor or whatever for what it doesn't matter. Like, it's not like you have to think of the most groundbreaking new thing.
Yeah.
You can start
something
a business,
that just works at the majority population.
Your business can be buying cars, selling with a profit. That profit buys you 2 new cars, and now you can keep that going, or flip houses or whatever. There's so many stuff. You don't have to have the brand new thing.
Yeah.
That Shark Tank thing, the guy who had the sponge that had a smiley face.
Oh yeah, we have one here. The Scrub Daddy.
Biggest.
Yeah.
Like,
They
What's
yeah.
that?
The Scrub Daddy. Rebecca, show him the Scrub Daddy. Yeah.
It's a sponge. And it has a
Rebecca's
smiley
getting the Scrub Daddy.
face. It just cleans everything.
Yeah.
So the first big deal that they did outside of the out of the States was in Germany.
All right.
There's a video on it where they, Lori and the guy who made Scrub Daddy, they were sitting with German businessmen, and at some point they came to an agreement that they were going to push this out to a bunch of stores here. And this is actually the first time we've seen it. So there it is, Scrub Daddy. This is not an infomercial, or what does Lori have? Her
This
little.
is it.
Man, it's
Can
amazing.
I take it out?
Yeah, you can take it out. I mean, we're not going to use it or anything. So
The scrub with a smiley face, and he's made so much money.
yeah, so check this out. Whenever you put cold water on it, it'll get harder like this, and like, you can literally scrub with no soap, and it can remove a lot of stuff without soap, and then it'll clean well. Hot water will make it soft, and then you could put a spoon where the smiley face is, squeeze it down, and then like do this, and then whenever for cups, you put this in the cup, and you do a twisting motion.
So how much should have given you for this promotion?
I just know it well. Oh, how much? So like, see, this is how it does it right here.
Yeah.
And look, the spoons.
This is cool.
How much are these?
It says right there.
Oh, like €4. I think it's worth it. I think some of the dollar scrubs that you get, like 4 of them, they don't last very long and they don't clean very well.
Yeah.
But this is pretty cool.
But that's kind of what I'm trying to find a distributor. In the
they have a
States now.
scrub. Don't they have a scrub mommy?
Yeah, they have
They have a whole scrub family. With this?
Yeah.
No.
Duolingo holding like a scrub baby like that look like the Duolingo bird, and they're like, "Who's the daddy?"
Oh dang! I did not see that yet.
Nice.
You should send. It's a picture?
It was like a whole skit they did.
Oh,
Maybe it was
you gotta remind me. Hey, Sabrina, you Scrub Daddy. All right. So I want to get into some questions.
All right.
Just so I kind of remember the questions. I have my little notes here since I didn't get it printed out. I mean, this is kind of like you're not in the military anymore, but like, I would just say, like, if you were already where you wanted to be in the future, where would it be?
If I was already where I wanted to be in the future.
Yeah, like doing your dream. Like, I'm not saying what you're doing right now isn't your dream, but like,
man, the dream
what
is
is the final, like, where's the
dream
I'm
is
here.
freedom. So
Yeah.
financial freedom, meaning that I can spend my days with my son and my wife, and
Not have to worry about making money for the bills. And
and you can focus on raising the boy right, and making sure that the wife's happy, making sure, and she's gonna do her own thing. Like, she's very assertive and very she doesn't need anything or anyone, so independent. She can do her own thing, but have that freedom, have a piece of land where you can do that. Make sure you have a purpose in life, so when you're in the military and you're single, like, your purpose is whatever your job is serving.
The question how I asked other guests that question is, like, picture your life that you never joined the military, what would you be doing right now? You know what I'm saying?
I never joined it. So I'm one of those guys. I never knew what I wanted to be when I was a kid. I still don't.
Yeah.
I still don't know what I want to be when I'm grown up.
Yeah.
So I like, every time I keep thinking of new challenges for myself, and
I
they
feel-
sort of have to naturally pop up. Because if I'm made to sit down and think of it, I can.
Yeah. I feel like you would be a good YouTube personality. Because, I mean, I did watch that video where you were in the cold camping simultaneously with your friend.
Yeah.
Like,
so-
that was kind of cool. Like, I could see if you had time and the ability to actually do that.
So
and you had a team.
I love that whole part of presenting and talking and be entertaining, but I'm not good at the whole like at the
editing
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The
No,
whole
I
editing
totally
thing.
get you, and that's why I said, like, if you had a team, like, you'd be solid. Like a strictly editor who that's what he does, but like then again, it's just like you have to pay for that, and at the beginning, there's no funds for that yet. You have to actually get there. But in getting there, you have to learn everything and do it, and that's where you have to decide.
So I actually on my own, I had a Flying Dutchman channel where I did a couple of videos that I edited of flights that I did, and and I was like, holy shit, man, there's so much work that I'm figuring out along the way because I'm so not tech savvy.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to edit these videos super in detail because
no, I would edit it for weeks on end to just bring one video out.
Yeah. I totally understand why, because it's like you can always make it better with videos nowadays that you have to compete with. Like
it's crazy.
Blippy.
Yeah, Blippy.
Yeah,
that guy's a low master too. He used to be a low master.
Yeah. But like he probably has an editing team. But like imagine if you were to be doing that yourself, like. Things popping up on screen, they're long videos, so you literally have to watch that.
So my kid watches that, so I Googled him. He makes like $25 million a year. He has money to.
Yeah, that's what I'm
for
saying.
A giant
but like,
team.
That's the thing that most people have to compete with now. I'm not saying like a lot of people, a lot of the big influencers, they give advice on like, hey, you don't have to, have the best quality camera, the best quality mic. You don't have to have all this fancy stuff. But I believe in reality, you sometimes do, because it's like, sadly, when you look at a book, like if the cover is cool and like it's intriguing, like you're more likely to read that book rather than you just find a plain book with a title on it and there's no pictures on the book.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe readers would probably disagree with me there, but like,
yeah, I heavily disagree.
Well, I know you do, but I'm just saying, like,
no, but your point is still accurate.
Yeah.
Like for me, if I see a book that is based on minimalism, it just shows the title of the book. I know it's a good book.
Yeah.
Now, when you're not supposed to judge book by its covers, but when people do too much on the outside, I'm like, you're compensating.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe that was like doing apples to oranges, comparing like books to YouTube. But dang, Sabrina, no, not the couch. Oh, the cat scratching the couch, man. Anyway, it's like, like those thumbnails that have the people with their mouths open and they're just like shocked. Like more people are like, they'll just click on that
so
stuff.
Statistically, that's like more. You're gonna have more interaction with that. Yeah.
In the way you edit your video, you insert like memes every now and then, and like the transitions, like rather than just like a full blown out.
So actually, for that, the video on the FUBAR YouTube, the camping video or the survival video that we did, me and my buddy, that we actually had a team for that.
Yeah.
So we had a social media guy for a while at FUBAR who also did the editing.
Yeah.
And man, he did a great job. So that video came out really good, but it's about the work.
Because like I feel like when you're recording stuff, you have to think about like even the finished product of the video, making sure like you get footage that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't want to have you don't want it to be too choppy. You want it to sync well together, and I think that's the most difficult part in making a video like that. But I mean, I feel like you do pretty good at that.
Thank you, Shane.
You're making me nervous speaking different languages. Wait, I should. Was it kind problem?
Kein Problem, yeah.
Problem. There you
go.
So I wanted to ask, what is your most memorable moment in your entire life?
Jesus Christ. Okay. In my entire life, definitely memorable, but maybe not in the most positive ways. The birth of my son.
Yeah.
He came out without a heartbeat and without breathing. And I was thinking it was going to be memorable for other reasons.
Yeah.
But he's fine. He's doing well. But
he's walking.
Man. He's almost 3, so he's walking and talking. But
yeah,
that's definitely one that
when
sticks.
before you had him, did you know how you were gonna feel about him before he came into the world? What? Yeah, I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah. You guys have what, 2 more months?
Yeah,
2 more
because
months
like
gone.
I know it's like a light switch to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying I don't care right now, but I'm saying it's not real to me yet.
Oh, no.
Because it's not. He's
no
not
face
physically here
Yeah.
yet. But I know as soon as I see him, I'm gonna be like, "Dang, no more League of Legends."
I would hope that's not your response.
No, I'm just kidding. But like,
No,
No.
it's hard to imagine.
that's what I'm saying. It won't be like a dang, no more Call of Duty, dang, no more League of Legends. I feel like my whole mentality is gonna shift like a light switch.
Yeah.
It's just like it's no words can
it's
explain.
also it's a good thing that it's hard to imagine because it is completely life changing in every way, shape, and form. So your life's never going to be the same again, and that can be daunting if you knew how much it's going to affect everything in your life. But because you don't know, you just sort of flow into it.
Yeah. So
It's going to be it's a different, man. The first couple of weeks or months, they're kind of depending on the baby, but you're going to be not sleeping a lot, hopefully supporting your wife, and slowly everything is a new hurdle. Like people say, oh, it only gets easier. Like, no, like when he's just here, he just wants to lay there and eat and poop, and that's it. It's like freaking easy. But then they start crawling, and then they start walking, and
then when they start walking, you're like, oh man, I gotta make sure he doesn't do anything reckless.
Yeah, so it's like it's good. It teaches you a lot of patience.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. How about your favorite? What's your favorite song right now? Do you listen to?
Shoot, yeah. My favorite song right now.
Yeah, what's on repeat? Like you hop in the truck and you're like, I'm putting this song on.
Well, I listen to music when I work out, and I listen to podcasts and audiobooks when I drive. So I go back and forth to the Netherlands, which is 4 hours at a time.
Yeah, you can catch up.
Dude, I can freaking burn through books or podcasts.
Yeah. Get smarter.
And without working harder because you're already driving.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't go anywhere. But then I think I listen to all my music through Spotify, and at the end of the year, Spotify will tell you what your favorite song is.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I mean, mine's gonna be the same thing.
You're gonna be the weekend with something.
He knows. Let's go. I'm like, it says I'm 0.01% of the listeners in that amount of time. I think last year I did 50,000 minutes.
Jeez, I don't know how many minutes I did. I know for me last year, I think on number 1 was a band called Amon Amarth, which is heavy metal. And then number 2 was Kishibashi, who was a Japanese composer for classical music. So it's so freaking different.
Yeah.
But those I think were 1 and 2.
Okay. Well, we'll take those, and when we watch it back, I'll definitely give them a listen. I mean, I like to take suggestions. I like looking at music too. So
yeah. So I think the Amon Amarth song I listened to most was Raven Flight, and then Kishibashi was Antichrist.
Okay, I see. But it's just musical.
It's just musical, yeah.
Oh,
well,
wow.
there's some singing in there too, or some lyrics in there too. But no, it's interesting. It's so very varied. It kind of depends on your mood, right? What you listen to. So I will listen to the heavy stuff when I'm working out because I need to get amped up.
Yeah, get angry at something.
Yeah,
I got you. What about if you were to only drink one thing and eat one thing?
Sprudelwasser.
Okay, yeah. Okay, there you go. I mean, I know that one.
I don't really drink once in a while. I'll give a shout out to Horse Soldier Bourbon. It's a Green Beret owned company. One of my buddies is one of the owners who they're in the BX now. So that if you do want to go for a drink, then that's the go-to. Other than that, I mostly drink sparkling water.
Yeah. But what about like food, like for the rest of your life? Not like a specific food, like not like it's. Don't say Mexican. If you say Mexican,
No,
street
I
tacos.
already eat ribeye all the time.
So just ribeye.
Just because for working out. I if best thing in the world, just eat meat and eggs.
Yeah, that's one heck of a diet for the rest of your life. Just sparkling water and ribeye,
dude. Freaking win for the win. Everything for the win, man.
Yeah. No, that's really good. We're actually about to, Rebecca, can you, or Courtney, can you carefully bring that Jenga over here?
Oh. Dang,
So our little game that we're going to play, I mean, we can probably still converse while we play. But this is, you can like lean it on itself. Yeah, there you go. And then we're going to put it right here. Carefully. If you drop it, you lose. Dang, how do I? Oh no.
You're already gonna drop it.
I know. Oh yeah.
All right.
All right, we're gonna play some old school Jenga,
Oh,
classic,
shit.
as
All
what
right,
the
here we
box
go.
says. All right, I'll make
All
the
right.
first
I'm
move.
gonna move this up. What are the stakes?
We win a prize.
Oh.
Whoever wins. I'm gonna start off with. Oh wait, we establishing rules. Is it like, because I know some people do touch and move. So if I touch one, I have to move it. Is that like how we're doing it?
Dude, I can't even remember if.
All right, we'll do it just to sake.
I don't even know if I've ever done this.
We'll do it just for this sake right here. I don't think I should have made this move. I'm literally gonna lose, bro.
Yeah, you're already gonna lose. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Come on. Okay. Nay, no way. I gotta play smart. Oh, bro, I'm gonna lose.
I can't even.
Why are you taking the? Okay, that must be the strat because it makes it easier. Ah, you should have went first.
I should have, but that's okay.
Oh man, when I move it, I really regret doing it because like it does not feel good. Oh, you really are doing that. Oh, you're right.
I'm actually stabilizing it now. I mean, that's fine, but.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Let me see how I can trip you up.
Modern day. I was actually. You good at chess?
No.
Okay, I literally was about to do like we're doing chess.
This one's gonna fall.
Oh no, you have to commit.
I have to commit. Yeah.
Oh no, you got it.
Okay. What did we just say? Failure is a lesson.
I get. Oh come on.
This one's gonna go.
Nah, you got it.
I won't touch anything.
Go shimmy.
I think you got it. So wait, should I take the other side then?
I mean, that would be smart. But you can be a doo-doo head and go for somewhere else and leave that uneven.
Wait.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like get this one,
Yeah.
or like when in doubt, play safe, right?
No, do never play safe.
Man, hold on.
Can't start a company
Outside of your comfort zone is where the magic happens. See that? It's super light. You can take that.
Oh my gosh, I hate this game. Oh my goodness.
OMG.
All because of that one.
OMG, right? Maybe I should try for no.
Yo, what if I just hit the bottom really fast?
and then it falls out straight.
I think I might do it since we're recording. You never know.
You don't gotta
Okay.
Not too good at this already.
I think if we keep doing this, like the middle one, it all comes down whose turn it is whenever they're all like that.
Yeah, that's how you have to play it, unfortunately.
That's all right. I'll switch it up a little bit. No, all the weight is on that one, so I gotta start on this side. I'm just doing this because I want to expedite. Oh, shoot. See, this one's not good. Flick it. I'm going to come to your side, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Was it this one?
The one below it.
Is it this one?
Yeah. Oh,
Flick it horizontally.
Oh, he.
Whoa, you hear that wind?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. If you think you're gonna lose off of this pull, I challenge you to hit the bottom one really fast. Or.
Oh. That boy's tight. That boy's tight. Oh my god.
Can't even move it.
Oh.
Push it back.
This is not gonna work. It's already going.
Hold it up.
Oh my god.
That's what my wife keeps saying.
Oh.
Mom is.
This is definitely, as soon as I let this go, it's gonna fall.
Now you got it.
Oh.
Ooh.
I like your words of encouragement, but no.
Ooh.
It was a good game. So we'll just leave this right here, but I don't want a prize. Usually what the podcast does is the team gets together and we get the guest a gift.
Nice.
So we have gotten you a gift that we want you to have, and you can, take one piece out at a time and then like show the camera if you like.
Nice, here we go.
All right.
Let's start with. These are my
Yeah.
glasses.
That's coffee company needs the
Hand them
CEO.
All right, what do we got, guys? Well, let's do this one first. Coffee syrup, nice. I should probably talk into this. Vanilla syrup, very important. It's zuckerfrei, sugar-free.
Oh yeah. That's pretty cool. So is it, you just poured in your.
Nice, a thermobecher, which means a thermal cup.
And then you like to do the little espressos, so these are tiny.
Yeah,
for them.
this is perfect because this is a
Is
froth.
that-
Yes, I was gonna say Milchaufschäumer, but yes, it's a frother.
Is that what makes it like foamy or whatever?
So this is for the milk, yeah. So you make the milk foamy, and then this.
Oh,
is
and then you
flavor.
make that cool little leaf thing.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
After we're done shooting this, we're doing a master class.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We'll kind of like lead into the closing remarks now on, and anything else that you want to share before we get to those closing remarks of the episode.
I want to share that if you need some fatherly advice for how to manage a baby when they're young and a wife who is heavily leaning on you, then please hit me up.
Yeah.
We'll
Got
talk
you.
about that.
And anybody else watching?
And anyone else watching?
Them too, right?
Live large, man. Freaking outside of your comfort zone is where the magic happens. So you just got to do it. And sometimes there are life constraints that make things a little more tricky, like when you have a family, and then you have to take that stuff in consideration, of course. But
Yeah.
just do it.
No, that's good. Appreciate you having on, Pim.
Thanks for having me.
I really do like some of the episodes we're doing. I think this one was a really fun one. Obviously, we're not in the den. We're in the comfort of our own home right now. And I think the conversations we had today, learning about like different sides of the military, not only the U.S., but seeing other parts of the world, kind of like seeing how they work, is really cool. So I really do appreciate like the insight, and I'm sure some of the listeners would be intrigued to learn more.
Yeah, if they want to know more, Flying Dutchman C-130, you can find me, FUBAR Coffee Company, as well on Instagram. So yeah, just hit me up.
Well, you heard it here, folks. This is the After Duty Hours episode 18, right? I believe it's 18.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. We're actually getting really far into more episodes, and I'm really excited that, and I'm really proud of my team. And I thank everybody who's been on this journey along with me, as well as the listeners. Remember, if you want to be on the podcast, please leave a comment below. Or if you have any suggestions, please also leave those comments below. And we would appreciate if you share amongst your friends, anyone in the KMC area, to get them involved if they want to be a part of something. We will definitely take them in and show them the ropes. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for listening. And as always, have a good day and a good night wherever you are in the world. Thank you. Bye.